Alright folks, this is Don Gamber, Gamber Leather Crafting. I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to do this video through my photos, and then I'll link it to Facebook and YouTube. But what we're going to do today is show you how to make a template for a pouch. First of all, I buy these plastic placemats from the dollar store, and they're excellent for making templates because the edges never fray from you rubbing your pen or pencil at the side of it. When you use those manila envelopes and construction paper, eventually your template's going to change its shape and its size. So I'm going to introduce you to tools that I use. These are pricking irons. I made this handle out of a piece of burl, and unlike most people who like to hammer their chisels into the leather or into their work, I push mine, which increases the speed of your work too. Some of you wondered how I get things done so fast. Well, that's how I do it. So I use a four-prong pricking iron, a two-prong, mainly to go around corners, and a single prong. So what we do is, I take my template and I put my holes in the template as I go. Now, if you're gonna have a three-piece gusset with a nice seam in the curved part of your bag, which is the best looking ones, then you'll do it this way. But if you want to just use one single piece all the way around, then what I'm about to say doesn't matter. So what you do is, you take your prong, your four-pronger, and you start about less than an inch, or an eighth of an inch away from the edge, so you don't want to rip your leather. And then you just roll it forward, and you count your holes all the way down to the center of the curve of your pouch. And incidentally, to make curves, I save washers of all different sizes, and you put the washer on there, trace it out, and then you cut it out. But it's good to keep those washers handy. So anyway, so what I did was I went down to the center of this curve, and that's 36 holes. You repeat that process over on this side, 36 holes, and you stop. Then you go across the bottom. Now you mark 36 on there with a Sharpie, like I did, small pointy Sharpie, and then you count these holes across the bottom, but you add in the last hole of each one, of each side, to that number there, because you're going to overlap the leather. Now, coming down to deciding what size gusset you want to use, you got 36 holes. So you find a piece of leather that you're going to use as a gusset, a soft piece of leather, whatever you want to use. It's easier to tuck a soft piece in so you can hide your seams. But you go down 36 holes, and then you decide how wide you want your gusset. You measure that from the edge, cut out your piece of material, and then you have a tool like this. I made this out of a piece of leather. It's like a speed square out of leather. Nice stiff leather. And what you're going to do is, you got the holes on one side, and you want to get those holes over to this side, and you want them lined up as straight as you can. So you lay this on the edge, and you go down to the fourth hole, punch your holes. Slide it down 3 holes, put your chisel in the fourth hole here, and just ride it all the way down to the end. That's how you punch your holes for your gusset. Now when you want to sew your gusset together, you take one piece of your one side, lay it against the bottom piece, and in between those two end holes, you want to evenly put as many holes as you can in there with your chisels, and you want to mark number 1 here, number 1 here on the back side of the leather. And then once you do both sides, you sew the two good sides together, and then when you turn it inside out or right side out, you have a perfect, nice, smooth, beautiful seam right there. Now, when you're taking your pattern and you're putting your pattern onto your material, you take out your single prong chisel and you punch through every fourth hole. Just put a little mark every fourth hole all the way around. When you get to the curved part, you do every hole. Once it straightens back out again, then you go every fourth hole, and so on until you're done. Then you take your chisel, 4-prong, and you just connect the dots all the way around. When you're doing the back part of your pouch, the back part which includes the flap that comes over, you turn this template over onto the leather, and you follow the same procedure there, and the two sides will match up perfectly. Okay, so that's basically what you do to start making your pattern. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at gambo007@yahoo.com, or you can just send me a text through Leather Show, Tell and Sell, or Facebook. Most of you know how to get a hold of me. I wanted to show you this too. I make these bison thimbles. These things will protect your finger. It slides on there. It's nice and tight, and you use this thing for when you're working the needle through your leather. You know, you wiggle your needle around to find the other hole. Sometimes it's difficult to find, but when you're wiggling it around on your bare finger, eventually that needle is going to tear your finger up. But you can push the needle through with this thing, and it does not puncture. So that's just another one of my secrets. I wanted to introduce you to this. This knife was custom made for me. It has a stag handle, and this thing, my friend, is the sharpest piece of tooling I've ever seen. When I turn that thing sideways, you can barely see it. This thing is so sharp. If you inquire, I will search for the gentleman's name who made this for me, but I'm going to show you how this works. Now, this is a pretty thick, stiff piece of leather. You can see it's got a finish on it, so it's a lot stiffer than your veg tan, but watch how this thing cuts through this piece of leather here. And this is almost effortlessly. This thing, man, it'll cut you just looking at it. I think I stated that once before when I first got this thing, but it's pretty nice. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make some comments as to what you'd like to see, and I'm going to do the videos this way. I'm more comfortable doing them this way and then loading them. So I appreciate everybody tuning in, and thank you for your patience. And I'm certainly sure that the audio is in this video here. So I'll get back to you the next day or so. I'd like to get some feedback to see which route I want to take to do some videos, so I can have a larger crowd or larger audience to listen in. So thanks a lot, and have a good day.